Testing, 1, 2, testing. Testing, 1, 2, testing. Can you hear me, room?
Can I get the sign?
Please.
Okay. Don't want to mess up your
No.
deck.
No, no messy.
Okay. This is Facilities Committee meeting on March 11th for the Fallbrook Regional Health District. And we don't need to do a roll call.
No, because you're here in person.
Yeah. All right.
See, Howard needs glasses, is far away too.
Well, it's really close, but I mean, yeah, it's getting to be far away too. All right. Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Do we have any public comments?
No,
Nope.
nothing. No, no.
So we want to have discussion on ongoing completed project, completed projects at the Community Health and Wellness Center. And the first item is Building A, Room 2, Encinitas Design Group updates.
Yes. So, history, the architect submitted the plans to the county. The county said, oh, you have this outstanding thing back from our major use permit back in 2021. Raquel was able to get the encroachment permit stuff put together. We submitted it. I've heard back from them. They wanted to have the right turn only sign, which we already have installed. They wanted more information about that, so we sent that to them. Then they came back and said, well, we want on the ground for it to say, as you're going to leave, right turn only. I'm like, well, that's already on the ground. So Teresa took pictures of it that it's already painted on the ground, and I sent it back to her. Now the gal is like waiting to apparently talk to a supervisor to give me the. So in theory, we've already done what they're asking, but somehow it wasn't documented just the right way for them.
Yeah.
So the goal is that once she talks to the supervisor, they're going to sign it off. Once they sign it off, then we can finalize the minor deviation to the major use permit, which then allows us to have the Encinitas Design Group plans be approved and we can move forward. Once his plans are essentially ready through the county, once that's ready, we can start to draft up the RFP for finding a general contractor, and we can actually go into construction on Building A for the teaching kitchen.
Okay, then.
So that's farther along than it was. Before we were waiting for the permit stuff. Now it looks like we're just waiting for the county person to be able to sign it off because we've met the requirement they're asking for.
Yeah. You want me to go down?
To the county and no.
Just sit there and stare.
No, I don't want, I don't want you to do that, Howard.
Don't say that I didn't try.
I know her hair's super.
Mhm.
Yeah, if we flip the room again, the board is more on camera than we are hopefully. Although right now Teresa's getting a main.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't worry.
You may have to flip that.
Usually I always cut right off the edge.
Yeah, feel free. So,
Well, so they kind of hold us hostage. It's got nothing to do with the remodeling.
correct.
It's just, hey, if you don't do this, you're not gonna do that.
Right. The primary issue was the fact that when we did the major use permit, the land consultants, this was a final thing that was on that final checklist. When they said they were done, I should have followed through with them and said, oh, so you cleared this final thing. I thought that meant that they were actually done. And so we didn't get that final sign off. And it wasn't noticed until we went in for a new permit. And then they were like, oh, well, this thing's still outstanding from 4 years ago. Yeah. So hopefully what this means is that now that should be the last potential oddity hanging out there.
Do we know, estimate how long respond, 2 weeks, a month?
It should be pretty quick. So far, this gal, once we sent it in, it's pretty much a week at a time. And I got a response back from her on, I want to say maybe it was Friday. So it should be relatively quick. Should
Yeah.
being the key word.
All right, is that it for A?
Yeah, that's it for A.
So we're now to B, building B.
Yep. The
All right.
Hey, Roy. Education room 6 and the interior restrooms renovation, the RFP is attached. With our change that Alex got us through with the UPCA, the Uniform Public Contracting something act, whatever. This project is not expected to come anywhere close to the $220,000 mark, so we can do the informal bidding. So what I've done is I've written up the scope of work with basic instructions. I've emailed it to 3 or 4 general contractors who've said that they want to be on our list. So those folks are on the list.
Yeah.
So we've sent that over to them. We'll wait and see what kind of bids come in. I've asked for them all to be in by April the 1st, which means we should have time for it to come to the April facilities meeting to make a decision. And then depending if there's any issues, we may go ahead and put it on the board meeting for April as well. It's not a complicated job. So I figure you guys might be comfortable. And if I get it early enough, I can send it to you early so you can look at it. And then we can, if there's any questions, we can do that before the committee. And then once you're at the committee, hopefully we've solved everything and we can kind of fast track. And then that will allow building B to basically be the final big piece. Okay.
Good.
So that's what that is. It's ready to go. And then we'll be done with bathroom work.
Wow.
Well, almost done with bathroom work. Why don't we go ahead and pull up those photos? And here's a couple of in progress photos of the exterior bathrooms. You can see all the old toilets and partitions and tile have all been pulled out. So we've got new flooring, new walls. They've updated some of the plumbing infrastruccture.
Here's the other restroom.
Bigger.
One has the flooring.
Yeah, that one has the flooring. They're the same size, but without things in there, they look
Big.
big and small. It just
Right.
depends, but the work looks really clean. They're exactly on target with their schedule. We did a mid-course correction in that we found, originally the plans had called for stainless steel partitions between the bathrooms, which are more expensive and they don't hold up and age as well as some of that deeper plastic. So in talking with the general contractor, they were like, we know the folks really well. We can probably get a good price on that. It'll last a lot longer and it comes in different colors. So originally it was stainless steel and we were going to use, you can't really tell in the photos, but that dark tile at the bottom is actually a dark green. Originally it had been planned to be a blue, but once we looked at the partitions and found that the plastic came in a dark green color, that was discounted, which means it wouldn't cost as much and they had plenty in backstock. So should we need to replace it, it's not a custom.
Yeah.
So then the general contractors were able to swap out that blue tile for a green tile, which is nice. Our colors generally are blue and green. So it means that we'll have a lovely color coordinated bathroom. The tiles are very nice. And it's gonna last a lot longer. So that's one of the nice things about working with Classic Handyman Services, which is also the general contractor on this, is that they do these kinds of things for schools everywhere, lots of public buildings. So they have the ability to bring forward to us resources for options. So that should turn out really, really clean and really nice once it's done. But that's just an update photo on that. And I know that's not the exterior or the interior restrooms that we just looked at on this RFP, but since we're talking bathrooms at the Wellness Center, we might as well show you the pictures.
Good.
All right, cool.
When do you hope for those to be done?
I believe we're scheduled end of April for it to be complete.
April 30th is, yeah.
Yeah. Their closeout date, and they're on target to be done,
Great.
which will be really, really nice.
Yeah.
All right,
D.
the partnership with Mission Resource Conservation District and Fallbrook for the educational pollinator garden. So again, one of the things, by not going with the original Taylor design, which was the entire campus, we've been doing piecemeal renovations. One of the challenges that we've had from the beginning, from Taylor design on forward, is that dirt space between building B and building A, right?
Mhm.
There's no practical use for it, right? Because it's right next to the chickens, it's loud
Yeah.
and it's sloped. So it's not really a good meeting space, sitting space. We've just been struggling with what to do with it. When we put in the ADA ramps, we also had to relocate some of the drainage from the upper area down. So now it drains into that area, and we were having some mud and issues. So we talked, Teresa and I had some planning conversations, and then we yanked Mission Resource out there and we said, hey, could you help us design an area in this space that matches the front of the Wellness Center where they've put in those pollinator gardens? We talked a little bit about this last meeting. So right now, what Mission Resource is doing is they're building out the design plan. They're working with Landscape One, which is one of the few landscape contractors that can do prevailing wage DIR registration, to put together a plan that will put in that dry riverbed to manage our drainage issues. Put together enough of a pollinator native area and other plants to keep it green and pretty. The reason I'm going on about this again is the fact that when you pull into the Wellness Center and you're in that parking lot, that dirt area is your eye focus. And having it just be an unattractive dirt area is not a good sign.
Yeah.
Having it be multifunctional, A, it'll be pretty, and B, Mission Resource will be able to use it for some education as well.
Okay.
So we talked through it. They are currently putting together a plan for what that'll look like. I will expect that I'll be able to bring back their design and their estimated proposal for that work to the next meeting.
Great.
So it will probably be a little spendy
Mhm.
because we're going to have to do all the dirt work, some concrete work, all the plants, everything. But
That's great.
it'll be very, very pretty, and I think it's the right usage for that space overall.
Does that Mission Resource, how are they funded?
They receive a very tiny amount of property tax. The rest of what they do is generally either contract for services or grant funds. So like they were asked, begged to take over the mission medians that the Fallbrook Beautification Save Our Forest folks used to do. That work is very challenging because it's in the right of way. And that's a dangerous place to do tree work, right? So now Mission Resource is managing that. FPUD owns that land and actually has to kind of figure out what to do. So they've made a contract agreement with Mission for Mission to be able to manage it. And then they provide them funds through that community benefit program. And then Mission works actually with Landscape One to do the trees, keep them trimmed back, and then the rest of the plants in there as well. And the irrigation and everything.
That's great.
Yeah. So we're going to be following suit. Again, it's one of the few landscape companies that can do public works.
Looks good. We've got them.
Yeah.
So the ribbon cutting ceremony for the ramps. It'll come up in April, right?
Yes, April 3rd, is that what it was? April 3rd, right. So, we presented that over to the FPUD board. We presented it to the Community Benefit Program Board of the FPUD. A few of them are going to come out. We've sent it to all of our peoples. So every time we're doing a renovation like that, especially a renovation that's been partially funded by somebody else, we'll hold a ribbon cutting.
Yeah.
So it's also a significant change to the property.
Yeah, it is. Are there organizations that serve, I'm gonna call it handicapped, that would come and say, wow, nice job?
Probably, I'm not so sure that we have a local particular group other than our facility users. We have a few that come in with walkers and such. Obviously the weather hasn't been to the point where we're using the lower shade structure, but come the summer, no doubt it'll get used, and now they can get down there without having to go through that very scary ramp on the other side. Good.
So I see the event is a power. What is it gonna entail? Just
Mostly just everybody line up, cut the ribbon, take a picture, thank FPUD's Community Benefit Program for the funding support for the program, just to be able to talk more about the center and our priority of making it accessible and what we do there.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
marketing.
I'm trying to figure out if I should go or not, just because I have the kids out of spring break that week. So it's 1 hour, which is nice. It's not that long,
Right,
which is nice.
right. It's not gonna be a sit down formal, it's gonna be kind of a standing around thing, so
Yeah.
I'm sure it would be fine.
Next.
That's it. Unless you have any board member comments or agenda items.
Yeah, can't think of any. You've got them kind of covered.
Yeah, I mean, these are regular ongoing projects. We don't have anything new starting. Obviously, the RFP for room 6. And that's on here because obviously with the restrooms and building a little storage and pony wall kind of thing, those are new enough construction that it makes difference. Room 3 can be renovated at any time once the queue of projects gets cleaned up, because we threw a ton of projects at the handyman to get that
Yeah.
done, right? A lot of things. We repainted down here, because remember when we changed out the TVs, we had that. And somehow somebody, messed up the walls in the hallway here
With those boards.
by taking those boards off,
Just
pulled some of
rip
the
them
paint off.
Yeah.
I did.
There was somebody.
It was somebody. Hi, I'm somebody. I did that. So,
Confession is.
so now I know I can't use that adhesive stuff without it tearing
Oh.
holes in the wall.
Yeah.
So, lesson learned.
Mhm.
But other than that, they're turning out to be a really good vendor partner for us.
Good.
They communicate well.
Mhm.
The work has been clean.
Yeah.
They redid the office upstairs where Olga and Jess will be doing,
Yeah.
between HR and finance stuff up there. So, I mean, it's coming together. We've got all kinds of honeydew lists going.
Yeah, good job.
There's a lot, right? I mean, the wellness center had so much deferred maintenance and then so many new things that we wanted that, I mean, it was hard to catch up with it. Roy knows from historical, trying to catch up some of those things. The only thing I will mention that is coming that I don't, haven't mentioned yet is, several months ago, we worked with a vendor, West Coast Arborist, to come out and do a tree inventory at Wellness Center. Turned out we had 220 trees, something like that.
Wow.
That's a lot of trees.
Yeah.
We had several that we've removed before they came out, some of those giant pines that were leaning toward buildings and things. So they came out, they gave us that inventory. Teresa and I walked with them yesterday to create a plan so that they can provide us a proposal for the trees that are at the front of the property on the east side, so along building A, that whole wall with our neighbor with the chickens, all the way around building B, to provide us references, provide us a proposal of trimming. So there's a lot of pruning, there's a dead tree, there's a lot of just deadfall in there, trimming it back so that the branches aren't overhanging the gutters on the building quite so much, really giving us a good idea of what that will be. Once we get an idea of what that cost is, then we can start outlining for the capital improvement budget, how many years it may take for us to get through all the rest of the trees. That's gonna be a hefty bill. We could be looking at $50,000 to $75,000 to handle all those trees.
Mhm.
But it only takes one of those trees to fall on a building or a car or a person for that investment to be smart. We already had a fairly large branch fall off one of the pine trees, the Aleppo pine. We now know it's an Aleppo pine, that fell into that main lower area. Nobody's down there, it's not a problem, but the idea is there's enough other branches. And the nice part about having arborists is that they can help us understand what can be trimmed, what can be pruned, what needs to just go. This particular vendor has this great tool that they use that allows us to also then keep track of any maintenance that's been done on those trees, so that we can know if something happens, we can say, hey, we knew that tree was a problem. We were getting it treated. It had bugs. It had whatever. That will be especially important. Those lower trees as you're in that lower field heading toward the house, there's a lot of California oaks in there. There's 5 or 6, I think. They're big, they're very mature, they're beautiful. We want to obviously keep them, but there's a 4-inch leaf litter and.
Is that an annual cost or lifetime cost?
No, that was the initial kind of get in, take care of everything, and then they would be able to provide us some maintenance contracts that would be maybe $5,000 to $10,000 a year, depending on a number of things. So we're waiting to see what their first proposal is before we talk about anything else. Yeah, because it's a lot.
Did you say 60 to 75 to get in?
To do all of the trees immediately is what the guy was kind of indicating. And I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna happen. No. So we figured priority 1 is right by the buildings where the people are. Let's get those cleaned up. Then we'll have a better idea of what the true needs are.
Yeah.
And then we can start to prioritize other areas.
We need trees.
Do you know that the county has codes as to how close the chickens can be to us? Are they compliant?
We aren't asking that question.
Why aren't they?
They're good neighbors.
Enough
We have a
said.
kitchen coming.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They're good neighbors.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna see changes to that property in the next few years anyway. The patriarch of the family is not well, is our understanding.
Yeah.
From last time they were there. So eventually, as that starts to change hands, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's, it's 2 homes. I think there's 2 homes on the property, 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
There's 2 or 3.
Yeah.
It's a very large piece of property. So we'll see. We already know that we have some free ranging chicks.
Yeah.
Could probably collect some eggs.
We probably could. We found baby chicks, a mama, a hen and some chicks were in the leaf litter over there. So it was
Yeah.
kind of cute, but I mean, they eat a ton of bugs. So it's actually a good thing. If you want to consider that, they eat a ton of bugs.
Yep.
And they're not in the walkway, so.
Yeah.
It's Fallbrook.
That's right. Well, the reason I know that is the house below our house has 25 chickens and turkeys.
Oh.
And the next house over really is upset. by
But they
that.
have 25 chickens.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so they called the code people out, and the code people said that they were all compliant, which is probably gonna make those other neighbors unhappy.
I mean, we're rural designation.
Yeah.
And depending on the size of your lot, And I think it's the size of the lot that dictates it. I'm not certain. I know for us, Riverside, I mean, not where I am, I could have a bazillion chickens and no one would care.
Yeah.
I don't. I have 6. That's plenty. But
Well, the turkeys are fun to listen to and the rooster.
Sure
kinda
are
neat.
boisterous.
Yeah.
we get a lot of comments from
Mhm.
visitors to the wellness center
Mhm.
about the chickens.
Yeah. not
Lots.
It adds character.
bad. Happy ones, happy comments.
I think it depends on whether that person is used to rural or if that person comes from the city and then they're like, there's chickens? And they're uncomfortable with the unknown.
Yeah.
No, but it's usually a vendor or somebody we're giving a tour to who's from outside the area. And then they're like,
Yeah,
Was
if
that
somebody has worked in the city of San Diego their whole life and they're here to tour something and they're like, why are there chickens here?
right?
My office building never has any noise.
People like you.
Here, I was like, what is that?
The rest of us are like, oh yeah, it's just chicken. Fallbrook.
Yeah.
Of course there's chicken.
Right.
We're not surprised.
That's why I
All
said it
right.
adds character.
Exactly, it adds character.
We are adjourned, but we sure can keep talking about fun
Thank
things
you.
like
We need
chickens.
fiber optic.
Yeah, for $30,000.
175, I mean, we're talking.
The trees are
fiber
already
optic,
there.
Trees, fiber optic connectivity,
The
internet.
trees are already
We should
there.
commit the goats so they can take care of the trees.
Yes, no.
And then.
Goats, fiber